Hello and welcome back to Nltv News Now. I'll read the headlines to you. In an attempt to bring back Naga political issue back on track, Nagaland Chief Minister Nephew Rio, Minister Neba Krono and leader of NPF TR Zeliang meets with NSC and IM leaders and interlocutor AK Mishra in Delhi. Mokokchung to face total power shutdown from 8 am to 4 pm daily between October 11th and November 6th due to scheduled vegetation clearance of 132 kV and 66 kV transmission lines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launches the Indian Space Association on Monday, ISAP to participate and work with ISRO and others on the issue of policy around space technology. Dimapur District Football League has commenced from 11th October at Shekiye Ground. 12 teams participating in the league's 5 home and 5 away games format. Superstar Shah Rukh Khan's son Aryan Khan's bail plea rejected for the third consecutive time in connection to the drugs and cruise case will now be heard on October 13th. And now the news in details. On Sunday, Nagaland Chief Minister Nephew Rio, Planning and Coordination Parliamentary Affairs Minister Neba Krono and leaders of NPF Legislature Party leader TR Zeliang met with NSC and IM leaders and Government of India representative and interlocutor AK Mishra in Delhi. The meeting was in connection with the Naga political issue. On Saturday, Rio flew to Delhi along with NPF leader TR Zeliang to join Neba Krono, who was already there in their mission to play their role in ensuring talks were on track. According to sources, Rio, Zeliang and Krono met AK Mishra at Nagaland House, Delhi. The three had reportedly conveyed the resolution of the UDA all-party government for early settlement of the Naga political issue. Rio, along with Krono and Zeliang, also met with NSC and IM leaders Ato Kilosen and Chief Negotiator T.H. Moivia, Chairman Q. Tako and Vice Chairman Tongmeth Wangnao at the Lodi Road residence of T.H. Moivia. Mukapcham Yungkyang requested the All Nagaland College Students Union and Eastern Nagaland College Students Union to voice out for current transportation system since students, parents and common people are struggling even to pay for their child's academic fees, and this current transportation system has added another untold problem in their lives. Earlier, Mukapchang Yungkyang appealed Chief Minister for the same, but there was no response. He further urged ANCSU and ENCSU to come together and voice out for the prevailing issue.
See, what's up on the Genesis? Itia one last day football match can be clear. Aro education can be low, Kandel can be low. Aro kiki program pe ini loya se. Will be transportation de normalize noha karane one students life pishi burden there ase. Tilule one underprivileged or poor students kando pishi tuk pa ase. Ito arne ito mo ekta every ekta message aro bi kogule mon ja ase. Ito ina ase last time we footage kami dikhai se will be ajun na dikhawo. Our last time la video to iku positive response pa nai. Ekta low pare holiwe achita iku huna nai ito rani moi achibi bunawle mon jaise. Our itu la video to moi students leader khangi moi ekta appeal gule mon ase request. Itu ki ase bile mon all Nagaland College Students Union aro Eastern Naga College Students Union itu tuta union ge moi ekta appeal gule mon ase as and college students member of your union. moi itui boloi mon ase kari de SOP maintain kora do alop gam nai nai ki kile bile moi ekta sumo la bo sumo de the seat is around this much and one person will sit here, one person will sit here, but see there is just very close to each other, and this is not the norms of maintaining SOP or social distancing. It has to be 1 meter. And on the other hand, the sad thing is that sumo de sita dina thage front seat, middle seat, or last seat ito taxi de. Aro actually front seat actually boibo with along with driver. Second seat de tujun boibo. Aro last seat de tujun boibo ina se according to government norms. Pasudi pokho dai do. Aro like tai can be social distance maintain kuri. Yes, I really appreciate my government for like doing all this thing for the safety of public. But only for some time, COVID-19 has it has reduced very low rate. Mula April ekta do ki go boli mona si boli do. Aro ekta kari go boli mona si moi. Kari ekta de SOP maintain kora do useless ase moi kile goile ase bole. Iku distance between maintain na kore aro mohan dikhe ase sumo de do last city do actually manu dadi boibo lage holibi tati do samani bokhibo aro middle city tinjun boibo aro France city tinjun middle city bi tinjun boile boibo charjun bi boi aro udo France city do along with driver tujun bi boi aro kuma and actually bi boi depending on the like number of passenger itu one way under one confined compartment in taxi it is not useful to maintain SOP or carrying only 50%, which is just a burden for the students community. I live in Boro. I have to pay 2,000 to reach Dimapur, and for these days, earlier it was 1,000. And these days I'm staying in Fujuro. Okay. A very beautiful place, Fujuro. Fujuro de muy well. Aro muy upay nai Dimapur like 50% ne say ito ane 2000 bai kadina jabo lage kilo bile konda khambi ini like tahambi aro gari khambi manu hafi bukhuli de ase aro like chojin bukhili do ini police camera check kuna ito taham gali khai ito ane tahambi 50% bukhi ito ane even me I have to pay 2000 just to reach from Bo to Futuro 2000. I have to pay whole road like so journey laga katibo lage from Bo to Dimapur journey kai katibo lage because like there is no certain like the taxi lane between Futuro and Boro. Ito ani moromra moi ito students leader khange moi kobole mona se kile bile apnani mohalla guardian ase aro in this matter like apnani mohalla guardian ase parents ase apnani ito ani for the welfare of students community in our state, please, those who are living in rural area, please moromra itu taxi lado, sumo transportation lado, 100% bukhi dibi koina to the rightful concerned authority, please, China tahangi kotha gulbi, aro tahangi problem bi share gulbi, so that I think government will turn a positive year. I know our government, but my last time video, it was just a video, and even me, I'm living in this very far-flung area, very far away from Kohima and Dimapur. It only maybe like Tahangibi look good, Bolivi, Napare, and I'm just a mere student. It only Apnani right guardian, one student guardian, student la say. It only Morombra. Itu ta abnan jaina damor sabkhangi lok guribi aro gothabi gobe aro like program bi share guribi for students welfare inawle bishi khushi bawo aro bishi phalo aro like transportation is a very fundamental needs of the student. Without that we cannot travel from place to place. Ami itu far lahi kwa noy Kohima te lebi Dimapur te lebi auto la repi auto la ferbi man thishe. Whereas like some students are playing through like auto by auto, even in Kohima by taxi. So like they are paying a huge amount, and they are putting in so much. So I mean appeal to our leaders, students leaders, please morom bra. Itulah video dikhile do. Just
Moving on to the next story, Dimapur District Football League has commenced from 11th of October at Shekye Ground. Zalio Rio, IAS retired Honorable Advisor of Sericulture, Excise and Minority Affairs, Government of Nagaland, graced the inaugural program as the chief guest of honor that started on Monday morning. The Football League consists a total of 12 teams whereby 5 matches will be played in home and 5 in away format. The organizers informed that 12 teams will be grouped into 2 pools where they will play group or league stage. The organizers further informed that the winning team will be receiving a prize money of rupees 2 lakh and 1 lakh for the runners-up.
Yade ura area villages youth organization laga idu owner talo du thing na se to aibi amihan tahan la team bikin ka julia se du chani lobo apna la team de players kan do local players kan asna bahar ba bi hire gona sa
acha bishi bak to ami hondo local players se aro guest player ekta duita ani gine ase
to apna la team laga idu fund no libi sponsorship to kinega kura sa
acha kumba to generously donation bi dine ase aro mohan bosti 13 villages para tare village fund bra ami khange olop koine modob digine ami khange yete ani gine ase
acha to apna la objective to idu tournament de participate kora de ki ase
ami khala objective to youths khange platform digine tala undiscovered talents kan do discover kurubo goine yete platform tangi dibo gane mon yete ahina ase
idu la tournament de how optimistic are you to win this tournament
acha do ami khan team sob ahado biswas ase sob team bi jutibo goine aine khili thakibo pare holibi sob manu du na jutibo ekjon jutibo ala khan haribo holibi do etu do khila do ami khan jitibi haribi it doesn't matter aro mon etu do khili gine players kan ge khili gine ta la talent to discovered kurine bahari jaine khilo para la chance paile do mon objective to itu ase ta ge platform digine ta la talent to discover kurule itu gane ahala ase.
And leaders from this Chekia village and neighboring villages, then our teams from the 12 clubs, special invitees, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure and privilege to be a part of this second season of Dimapur District Football League. Before I go on to other things, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate and appreciate the magnificent 5 young boys.
Deputy Commissioner and Vice Chairman DPDB Woka Orengtung Lota informs all DPDB members that the monthly District Planning and Development Board meeting will be held on Monday at the Deputy Commissioner's Conference Hall, Woka, during which 2 agendas will be discussed, mainly registration of Society Care Educational and Welfare Society, Sum Colony, Ward number 7 and Rural Development Department presentation through PowerPoint is set to be discussed. The Power Department of Mokokchung Division informed that there will be a total power shutdown from 8 am to 4 pm daily between October 11th and November 6th under Mokokchung Transmission Division. This was initiated due to scheduled vegetation clearance of 132 kV and 66 kV transmission lines. Mokokchung Transmission Division Executive Engineer Ahoto I stated that with the aim to provide stable power supply and to avoid unwarranted disruption of power supply, this exercise has been necessitated. Meanwhile, the Power Department appealed the public in the affected areas to extend their cooperation and bear with the inconvenience. Senior Treasury Officer of Woka has informed all pensioners who are drawing pension under Treasury Officer Office Woka, both family and life, to come for physical verification on 21st to 22nd October during office hours. The senior Treasury officer has further informed that all concerned to follow social distancing and other COVID-19 SOP and protocols. The Minister of PHED, Printing and Stationery Government of Manipur, Nltv, was the guest of honor at the 21st Naga Students Federation Martyrs Memorial Trophy at Indira Gandhi Stadium in Kohima. The month-long tournament is hosted by Angami Students Union with ground management by Northern Angami Students Union. Minister Nltv said that it is high time that we ponder on how to bring more changes and development through sports. He also mentioned that it is time Nagaland learns from its closest neighbor state, Manipur. He pointed, saying that Manipur has over 5,000 registered football players at national and international level and that the state has Rajya Sabha members through the sports quota. He advised the youths to do their best and dedicate themselves and their focus on the field of their work. In a joint operation launched on Saturday by the Assam Rifles and the Indian Armies, 3 corps, 4 insurgents were killed by security forces in Hingojang, Manipur. During the operation, there was exchange of fire from both sides. Reportedly, they were said to be members of the Kuki National Liberation Army who are active in the northeast India and northwest Myanmar. There were more than 10 insurgents present when the operation began. Meanwhile, Manipur's public relations officer said that the operation is still going on and more information in this matter is awaited. The District Mental Health Program Kohima celebrates World Mental Health Day under the theme Mental Health in an Unequal World. At Good Samaritan Old Age Home, Kohima, clinical psychologist DMHP spoke on the theme, while the PSW of DMHP shared the activities and services carried out by DMHP, followed by a special number that was presented by resident of the home. DMHP also conducted screening and mental health checkup for the elders with provided free supply of medicines. The largest limestone cave in Mimi area, consisting of rocks and cliffs which are owned by BOMRR clan of Mimi village, now extended to 8 villages, practices a bat harvest season during the second week of October every year after Photangzu festival. At these rocks cliff sides, there are 3 limestone caves which are owned by Bomber clan, and it is known that thousands of bats roost in these caves. This bat harvest also has some certain traditional regulation, and every male from Bomber clan must get his share of bats from his birth till death. The harvest lasts mainly for 5 to 6 days and extends for 2 to 3 days in another caves. This harvest is said to be practiced for 9 generations before Christianity or during the forefathers' time. The villagers used to harvest practicing many rites and rituals, but after coming out of Christianity, they don't follow any rituals, but they still practice that harvest. Superstar Shah Rukh Khan's son Aryan Khan's bail plea has been rejected for the 3rd consecutive time. The bail application of Aryan in connection to the drugs in cruise case will now be heard on October 13th. Earlier, the Anti-Drug Agency Narcotics Control Bureau had asked the court to extend his custody till Friday for more time to file its reply. But now, the court has ordered NCB to do so by Wednesday morning. Notably, Aryan Khan was arrested on October 3rd by Narcotics Control Bureau after it raided a rave party at a Goa-bound cruise. Aryan is currently in Arthur Jail, prison of Mumbai.
That once a bail application is rejected, we go to the higher court. So we have filed and it's before the court.
Friday को फाइल किया आपने सर?
Time is immaterial.
आज मेंशन करेंगे every hut sir.
Okay,
done sir. Okay, done.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has launched the Indian Space Association on Monday. At the virtual launch event, PM Modi said that the government can no longer act as a handler for the space sector, but rather work as an enabler. He further mentioned that the government's policies will help ensure innovation in the private space sector. He also interacted with representatives of the space industry on the occasion. ISAP is a private industry body to help boost space technology in India. ISAP will participate and work with ISRO and others on the same issue policy around space technology and domain. It will focus on capacity building and space economic hubs and incubators in India.
सदी का भारत आज जिस अप्रोच के साथ आगे बढ़ रहा है, जो रिफॉर्म्स कर रहा है, उसका आधार है भारत के सामर्थ्य पर अटूट विश्वास। भारत का सामर्थ्य दुनिया के सभी देश से जरा भी कम नहीं है। इस सामर्थ्य के आगे आने वाली हर रुकावट को दूर करना हमारी सरकार का दायित्व है और इसके लिए सरकार कोई कोर कसर बाकी नहीं छोड़ रही। आज जितनी निर्णायक सरकार भारत में है, उतनी पहले कभी नहीं रही। स्पेस सेक्टर और स्पेस टेक को लेकर आज भारत में जो बड़े रिफॉर्म कड़ी है, मैं इंडिया में स्पेस एसोसिएशन इस्पा के गठन के लिए आप सभी को एक बार फिर बधाई देता हूं, अपनी शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। साथियों, जब हम स्पेस रिफॉर्म्स की बात करते हैं तो हमारी अप्रोच 4 पिलर आधारित है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday paid respect to the great visionary Nanaji Deshmukh on his 105th birth anniversary and to Lok Nayak Jai Prakash Narayan on his 119th birth anniversary. Modi further said that Deshmukh dedicated his life to rural development and was one of the founding members of Bharatiya Jan Sangh. He further mentioned that Deshmukh established a chain of RSS-inspired schools throughout India. While he mentioned that Lok Nayak was one of the most prominent faces of Quit India movement and he is remembered for leading the mid-1970s opposition against Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, for whose overthrow he had called for a total revolution, and that Janata Party was voted into power for the first non-Congress party to form a government at the centre under his guidance. Three central ministers may convene a meeting on Tuesday in the backdrop of the concerns over possible blackouts in Delhi, Uttar Pradesh and Andhra Pradesh because of depleting stocks of coal at power plants, said two government officials aware of the development on the condition of anonymity. The aim is to find ways to ensure adequate supply of the fossil fuel to build up stocks, said the two officials. Union Coal Minister Prahlad Joshi, Minister for Power and New Renewable Energy Raj Kumar Singh and Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav may meet to deliberate on the ways to increase coal supplies for long. The largest miner of the fossil fuel, state-run Coal India Limited, has been flagging concerns over inadequate coal stocks at power plants. Union government officials said it will take at least a week for coal stocks to considerably build up, with the current supplies essentially meeting daily consumption needs. Seven judges were transferred to different high courts on Monday. In exercise of power conferred under the Constitution of India, President of India, in consultation with Chief Justice of India, transferred the following High Court judges: Justice Rajan Gupta, Justice B.P. Bajantri, Justice Sanjeev Prakash Sharma has been sent to the Patna High Court. Justice T.S. Sivaga Nanam has been sent to Kolkata. Similarly, Justice Sureshwar Thakur has been sent to the Punjab and Haryana High Court. Justice T. Amarnath Gode has been sent to Tripura High Court and Justice Subhash Chand has been transferred to the Jharkhand High Court. The transfers were recommended by the Supreme Court Collegium last month. The Department of Justice in the Law Ministry tweeted a list of judges transferred. Megastar Amitabh Bachchan turned 79 on Monday. On his special day, his family, fans and industry friends overwhelmed the social media site with well-wishes following. Big B's followers gathered outside his Juhu house to celebrate his birthday, cutting the cake and having a good time. Meanwhile, the veteran actor said his heart was throbbing with excitement because of the love of his fans and well-wishers. Bachchan penned a blog post on Sunday night writing that it would be impossible for him to acknowledge every wish, but he was touched by the messages from his fans. An army officer and 4 other soldiers were killed in action during an encounter between security forces and 2 terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch district on Monday. Sources said a heavy gunfight was underway in the Surankote area with at least 4 to 5 heavily armed terrorists who crossed into the country a few days ago. The anti-insurgency operation was launched in a village close to Dera Ki Gali in the early hours following intelligence input about their presence, officials said. The hiding terrorists fired on the search parties, resulting in a fierce gunfight and critical injuries to a junior commissioned officer or JCO and 4 other soldiers. They died from their injuries. The encounter with the terrorists was still going on and further details are awaited, a defense spokesperson said. Officials said there were reports about the presence of a group of heavily armed terrorists in the Chamber forest after they managed to sneak from across the line of control a few days ago. Mukesh Ambani's Reliance Industries Limited acquired a Norwegian solar panel maker and an Indian builder of renewable projects in a bid by the oil-to-retail conglomerate to extend its dominance into alternative energy. Mr. Ambani pledged in June to spend $10 billion on alternative energies over 3 years. The new investments are meant to pivot the conglomerate to cleaner fuels. Reliance gets nearly 60% of its annual revenue from its oil-related business. Saudi Aramco is also in discussion with the purchase of a roughly 20% stakes in Reliance's refining and chemicals business. The 2 acquisitions was purchased from China National Blue Star Group Co. will help Reliance New Energy Solar expand in green energy markets globally, including the US, Europe, Australia and elsewhere in Asia. Mr. Ambani's push aligns with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's goal of helping India, the world's 3rd biggest emitter of greenhouse gases, more than quadruple renewable power capacity to 450 gigawatts by the end of this decade. That is all for now. This is Gargireka signing off. Keep watching Nagaland TV for more news and updates.